Good morning, children. Now, this is our second lecture on second lesson, that is on the two's company. So I have two tasks today to do. One is to discuss the contextual questions that I've given you, and then how do you write the essay type questions, right? So once again I want to tell you, most of my students have written the answer to the previous. It was really good, and some of you have not done. Please everybody do it in time. Right, now we'll start the contextual questions first. Right, the first one, they said the house was haunted. You can correct it yourself. See, you know English, don't you? Right, know English. So they said the house was haunted because, right, the house was haunted, but he laughed at them. He laughed at them and said, "Tut tut." Who is or are referred the pronouns. Now, what are the pronouns you have there? They. They means the people who live in that house, or people who believe the ghost, or people. People who believe the ghost, or the people around there, people who gathered there, who believe God, the they. Right, and he is the person who challenges, telling that there is no ghost. There is no ghost. Right? So, who is he laughed at? To the people who believe the ghost. To the people who believe the ghost. He laughed at the people to whom? Why? For believing. Why? For believing. And the next one is name the poetic device that used in the second line. He laughed at them and said, "Tut tut." Laughed at them, satire, for their foolishness. Right? It's a technique. And the next one is question in the body. Yeah, number 2, second contextual question. I never heard such tittle-tattle as ghosts that groans and chains that rattle. Who challenges, he is insulting. What is it? I've never heard. What? Such a little tattle? Chains. Oh. So such sounds I've never heard. Right. So who is referred here? I mean the boy or the man or person who challenges, right? Who says that there isn't a ghost. There isn't a thing called ghost. Right? And the next one is what haven't I heard? What haven't I heard? What haven't I heard? What haven't I heard? I haven't heard the sounds of ghosts. Sounds of ghosts. And what do the ghosts do? According to this, the ghost groan, chains, and the sounds, he groans, and the chain, the sound of a chain, and chain is a sound there, and rattle, right? Rattle. So that was ghost. What does a ghost do with that? And the next one, and just to prove I'm in the right, please leave me here to spend the night. Leave me here. Where? What do I want to prove? What do I want to prove? What do I want to prove? I want to prove that there isn't a ghost. I want to prove that there isn't a ghost. Right? There isn't a such thing called ghost. I want to prove that I'm correct. What is I'm right? Right? What is I'm right? Right? I want to prove that I'm in right. I'm in the right. How is he going to prove it? How is he going to prove it, children? You can see the board, right? How is he going to prove? He wants to state that right and show his bravery and show that there isn't such. These are mere sounds which are created in your mind. Right. And from whom does he make this request? From whom does he make this request, children? From the people who gathered there, or from the people who believed, who said that there was a ghost. You can use your words, no problem. Okay, right, you can correct yourself and see if it is a mistake. You can just talk if you have a doubt, right? In our Zoom meeting. And the next one is that noise again. He checks the door and shutters and windows and makes the pose, right? And that noise again. Yeah, this one. That noise again. He checks the doors, shutters and windows, makes a pose, right? What is that noise? Noise of a ghost, or you can say screech, or what do you call it? Screech, scream, or what do you call it? Screech, scream, and rattle, chain. That sound, that noise. You can write the noise of it or noise of a ghost. Right? Now that it's better if you mention the noise. What noises are there? Why does he make a pose? Why does he make a pose? Why does he make a pose, children? He made a pose. Why does he make a pose? Why did he stop it? Pose means to seek. Seek means, what does it mean of seek? I forgot to tell you in my first one. Seek means to look for. Where am I? Right? So why does he make a pose? To seek a protective place. To seek, according to the poem, to seek a safest place. Safest place. Right? Safest place. Right? Superlative form. Safest place. Most. Right? Most protective place. To seek, to search. He's stopping to search. And what does he check? What does he check? He check whether the doors are locked and doors are closed and locked well. Why? He had now believed that somebody, that's terrible, mysterious, ghostly matters are outside that might come inside. He wants to stop it. He was fear of the ghost now. He starts to believe it, right? He just ate his words, right? Yeah. And the next one, children, not that there is anything to fear. Not that there is anything to fear. He tells himself when at his ear, right? So when at his ear, right? There is not that there is anything to fear, because why does he tell himself alone the above line? The above line, nothing to fear now. Why did he say that one? Because he found the safest place. What is the safest place, children? Inside the cupboard. He hid himself inside the cupboard. Right? Why does he say? Because he is in the safest place. Locked all the doors and locked himself in a cupboard. And was he successful in his attempt? The answer is no. He was not successful. Because the ghost came through the doors. It doesn't want the space like you and me. It can go through the walls. And don't write that all, right? Just try to know it. No, it's not successful. It's quite enough. What did he hear then? There's a mistake there. What did he hear then? There should be a he that should have. What did he hear then? He heard. Right? Now you want to remember the poem. You want to remember the poem. What is there? What is there? He heard. Hello. How the breathless words. Hello. When at his ear. Hello. How do you do? Pray. Right, pray, how do you do? I'm the ghost. Right. Now when you meet somebody, how do you do? When you meet somebody first time only, you say, how do you do? Don't say, I'm fine, thank you. How do you do? How do you do? Hello, how do you do? Shake hands and say, how do you do? And I'm a ghost. Pray, who are you? They have to write that. Get right there. Right, that is the answer to that question. And see, we'll move on to the next one. Is right up there, right? Yeah, they left him just. That's all, isn't it? Here. I never heard such a little tackle. I'm sorry, I forgot the page number 9. That contextuals that they left him just page number 9. Right? They left him just as dusk was falling, with hunchback moon and screech owls calling. This one you can see on the board. When did they leave him? When did they? Right, you can say left him when the dusk was falling, or darkness comes, darkness falls, or night falls. Right. After it's dark. And when? The answer is here you have the dusk was falling is better. Extract the metaphorical expressions in this couplet. In this couplet, metaphorical expression is hunchback moon. Hunchback moon. Moon is hunchback. And what coincides here, there is a small mistake. I am printing mistakes, children. Hunchback here, H-E-R-E. here, right here. What coincides here? What is it? Hunchback moons appear and screech and owl scowling. Right, coincides. All this together. Right. And the next question is, of course, he knows that no one. Of course, that he knows no one is there. But no harm is there done, no harm's done by taking care. Right? He console his mind. He make console his mind. Right? He console his mind. Of course, there is no one. Right? No one. But it's better. Right? Be safe. Right? Matanam corona had in you not about provision. Similar situation, right? Here. Of course, he knows that there is no one there. Because he is an ordinary man, he knows it. His belief was in ironic here. Right? Mock at the point. Right? Of course, he knows that there is no one. Right? But no harms. He consoled his mind, but by taking care. And what did he do? He closed the curtains, explained the underlying words. He, right, is the person who challenges and stayed that night, haunted house alone. No anybody. In other words, right, there is no ghost. There's no ghost inside the house, right, or outside the house. There, right, no one's there in the house. Right? The next question is, who is the fear of them? Who is fear of the harm? Who is fear of the harm? Right? Is no harm done by taking care. That was the idea, right? So who's fear of the harm? Who is fear of harm? The person who challenges, right? In hidden way, indirectly, he believes that there is a harm, right? Who is fear of the harm? The person who is alone there, who challenges the ghost, right? What is his precaution? What is his precaution? It's not given. In these two lines, you have to know the point. His precautions is close the curtains, right? And look at the poem if you go through, right? But there's the same draws the curtains. But just the same, he draws the curtains. Just the same, he draws the curtains. So that is the contextuals that you have to answer. I think I've done it, and my next work is children. Now I gave you two set-type questions to answer. One is to paraphrase. Right now I prepare or I set you for the examination. Right, for the examination. Therefore, please do these things. Now, in this paraphrase is important. You must know to narrate the story. This is based on a story. It's a Gothic story. I'll come to that later. So, based on a story. So, you must know to narrate the story. Right? So, if you have written, if you start, you have to start. Once there was a man who does not believe ghost. Normally, the devotees don't believe ghosts, right? So devotees normally don't believe the ghost, right? So ethereal people, because they believe only the God. Muslims, Christians and Jews, they won't believe the ghost. Ghost, yeah, they won't believe it. So one God is there, God, G-O-D, one God is there. Right, one God is there. He is the only one. No ghost, no devil, no nothing can do beyond the God. Right? So if you believe many God, now like Hindus, they're atheists, right? They're idolized, right? So they worship many gods and what you call statues, right? Even Buddhist, those who believe the God and all, God means Hindu gods, right? Because they also atheists, right? They believe different gods. And Hallmark, and what do you call it, that astrology, Jyotisha, the planets and all, their Graha, Chara and all these things there. And such beliefs people have, ghost, devil, right? And such beliefs are there, some people. So some others, those are devotees, those believe the ghost, right? The God, they won't believe the ghost. They didn't know, right? So there was a period. I'll come to that period later. Anyway, right now, you want to start. Once there was a house that was haunted. People said that was haunted. And they were fear of the ghost in there. They were talking, while they were talking, one young boy or young person or the person, right, who has no much information about it, right, he challenges that there is no ghost, and he laughed at the others and said, let me stay here, let me stay that night, that house. So others were helpers and they let him to stay there. So when he was there, he heard certain sounds. Now you want to go step by step according to the point. What did he do? How did he feel? Right? How he tried to, when he was nervous, how he tried to console his mind. Right? What did he do first? Close the curtains. And when it continued, how did he do the second step? And on you want to say the time that he meets the ghost. As a story, you want to narrate it. You didn't have the extractions. Do it yourself. No. That is a paraphrase. I think you would have written it. You want to bring it when you collect the next suit. And the next one is children. Use the structure of the poem given. They describe how did the poet create humor. Humor, there's a spelling mistake, H-U-M-O-U-R. Right? You can correct it. And then I taught you the title. Right? The Develop the Curiosity, Choose Company. Number 1, stanza, the introduction. Right? Introduction stanza and the 2 couplets given there. His challenge and the person who challenges, his acceptance of the challenge, and the situations, backgrounds of it that he had to face, and then the last stanza, his reactions to the ghost and heighten the humorous effect. Heighten the humorous effect that actions, that thoughts leading to the climax, to the end, at the end of the end. Even the title and the first line means the subtitle, is all become the irony. They are mocking at this man, Jews company, visible and invisible. The visible man is challenging the invisible. You understand? Right. So that you want to write, and you can get the help of this by means of this my instructions. Right, you can answer that question. I think you would have written it by now. Now you want to I want to discuss with you my final section, that is the answer for the last question. Last two questions I given you. Right? What are the last two questions, children? How does the poet, 2018 question, how does the poet create humor in two's company? How does the poet create humor in two's company? Discuss the details in reference to the poem. It's just close to the one you have written there. Right. Here I given you to write it. Use the structure of the poem given to describe how the poet creates the humor. But this is not the correct answer for this exam question, or this essay type questions that you have to answer for the exam. Now I'm going to teach you the structure of it. You have this blank, there you can write it, or you can get a paper and write the structure there. Now my words, and then you want to produce your answer. Number one is you want to say about the poet. Poet I've given you, don't write a lot about the poet. It's I feel it's a waste of time. Right? So poet. I've given you a little sentences about you. It's quite enough. And the poem. Poem is a Gothic story. Right? It's a Gothic story. What is a Gothic story means, children? Right? That means before the Christianity comes, that Roman period, ancient period, people believed a lot of gods, gods, and they believed demon or devil. Right, they believed the devil or the ghost, right, and so such things they believed, right, they believed such things before that period, the ancient period, right. So that's what they call it, it's a Gothic story, right. Actually, it's you can remember the evening star. Okay, sure. Now let's go for the last question. There I given you two questions to answer. Right? Say two essay type questions. Right? So, how does the poet create the humor in two's company? Question mark. Discuss with details reference to the poem. That is a question that was given in 2018. So that was given. And in addition, I have given you the poem Two's Companies satirize human weakness. Discuss with close reference to the poem. Right. Now I just start with the first one, that is 2018 question. How does the poet create humor in the two's company? So in my question, page number 6 I've given you. Right, use the structure of the poem given, they are given, then describe how the poet creates the humor. You did the answer for this question, but it is not the same thing that you have to write here. Right? So you have been given this one, this space, right? There you want to write down my notes, right? To plan for the for this question, plan to answer the question. You got it, right? First paragraph, you want to write about the poet. It's a rhyme and about him. A little, don't write a long. Some children write, you write it. Write a long essays, type answer for the, I mean the words, a lot of words. Right, they're writing about the poet. That's learning about the poet is important, but for all ever examination, it isn't that much important if you write a lot of things about the poet. His era, right, the period he lived, and his special awards and special characteristics if he has some. So you can write them. Okay, and that's about the poet and the poem. And the poem, when you write about the poem, children, remember, you have to say this is, now I given you in the page 2 about the poem. What is it? The poem is fabricated around a person who does not believe in ghosts, sarcastically laugh at the others for believing the ghost, and he sarcastically criticize their belief or existing the ghost. Right, existing the ghost, that should be included. You got my point? That should be included for that. And when you write about the poem, this story, around the story, a Gothic story, you want to include the word, the Gothic story. Gothic story means, you know, English literature, right? Basically, that's you have to learn. If you don't want to learn English literature a lot, you must know Christianity, right? So Christianity, when you learn this evening star, we say it's a pagan belief, right? It is a thing that you have to discuss, because in Christianity, they believe one God. Muslims, they believe only the Allah, right? And so those who believe, the Jews, right, those who believe the God, they have only one God, no other devil, no mysterious powers in the world, right? One and only power in the world is the God. So children, the Gothic story comes before the era of Christianity, is Roman period. Right, now also they have certain Gothic culture, something beyond what we accepted, that if you want you can study that. Right, so this we call it a Gothic story, right, because people there, right, people believe something, a mysterious power other than the God. Here in this one, in this story, atheists, right, we call it atheists, right? So idolater, that they worship the statues, idolaters, and atheists, right? And they are not a devotee of the God. If devotee of God, they have only one God, right? That's what we call, this is a story, this story based the Gothic story, we call it, right? ancient era, before the era of Christianity, right? That's what we named it that way. So I think you understand what is Gothic story. If you include it or Gothic story or not, it doesn't matter, right? It's better if you write it. This is a Gothic story based on written around a boy who boasts too much about, right? Without knowing, he's overvalued himself and criticize and so on, right? And you want to have an introduction for this question, and you want to address the question, second one, right? Number 2, addressing the question. So what do you write about the addressing the question in that place? You want to understand the target of this question. What is it, children? How does the poet create humor in the two count? Humor. Right now you want to say that you are writing about it. Understand? You are writing about it. It means about the question. What is it? How does the poet create the humor? Right. In this poem created the humor. You have to say. You got it, right? In this poem, the language, I will give you the language, the simple language, and tone, it's a narrative style, right? It's narrative style, introduction and its challenge, and it's how he faces his brackets, right? Ironical, the presentation creates a humor. You want to write, including these things, one paragraph, that these things create the humor. Right? Then you want to say, discuss detailed reference to the poem. Detail. Now you are writing the details. How do you write planning? Now you want to write the narration. Number 3 is the narration. What is the narration, children, there? You want to write the extraction, right? I just give you an example. They said that the house was haunted, but he laughed at them and said, tut tut. Right, in this poem, at the beginning, the poet introduces, right, about a house that everybody was shocked. Right about it, everybody was shocked. And meantime, he introduces another person who, or maybe a young one, who challenged this, right? Challenged this one, challenged the other's belief, and said it, stop, it's all tittle tattle. And he wants to talk. And meantime, when you do this way, right, extraction, description, and its use of techniques he uses there. What techniques in this point he uses? Right? What techniques he uses there? So, how effective the techniques? Now, hunchback moon, right? And it creates the visual imageries. Right, it's very effective, the effective way of introducing the background. Hunchback moon, and you see, screech and owls calling. Right, when the dusk falling. Right, so this type of extractions you want to say, and its technique and its effect. You want to explain in order. You have to have a certain what are the things that you are going to write. Extractions. Have a plan, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not all the poem, right? Not all the poem. Extractions and description. and describe it, and what are you going to describe in brief, and then you want to write its effect. Now you can just plan it, right? Extraction. Simply you can say extraction, right? And its description and effect. Poetic, technique and effect. Right. Now, for example, I just tell you, right? One. You can write in short, right? A hunchback moon. Right? What I will write? Situation. Situation that created. Right? And it's a metaphor. Metaphor he used. Right? And that helpful metaphor and the visual images, right? Metaphor and visual images, right? Helps to create the situation. You got it. You can write this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are you going to write? Till the end. The narration and what are the extractions that you are taking. Right? You want to have a plan. You understand me? Right. It is up to you. You can. There isn't only one way of answering the question. It's up to you, right? Nobody can challenge you. If somebody writes this part and some other has not included this part, this is a must. There is no such rule. Don't worry. You yourself want to decide it when you go on writing, when you continue writing. Right, you will realize its style and what are the important things. If you do not write, you will not get the tone. It still will be learned only if you do write. Keep that in mind, children. And the next one is the next paragraph you want to write. And there you want to include, it's better if you include, right, these things, children. In my note, page 4, it also quite increasing, right, interesting how the poet presents the emotional situations of the situations, can you remember? He is dealing with the encounter. Dealing with the encounter is going to challenge, like, to the other. And although he does not believe in the ghost, the poet presents him as a man in common sense. What is a man in common sense? Man in common sense, they have the fear. Right? They have the fear. Everybody is the fear to move in the night, don't you? Because we are not the animals we are not nocturnal. We don't live only in the night. We are not living the night. Our eyesight is weak. So naturally, it comes to us to hide at night. Because we cannot find. We are blind at night. Right? So anyway, that sense, because of that sense or whatever it is, whether I don't want to say whether there is a ghost, there is no ghost, there is only the God. No, I don't want to say. I don't want to have my ideas. Right? But you have to think. That's a common sense. Right? This man who is challenging the ghost, Right? He encountered, although he does not believe in the ghost, the poet presents him as a man in common sense. The eerie atmosphere, the mysterious atmosphere, right? And haunted of the atmosphere of the haunted house make him confused, complicated, and his emotional conflict, right, is presented here. That is important. So if you write any answer, these things are important. Write these factors. What is it? What I told you about the poem first, and these things. Right? We have to include these things, and then we come to the last, not the fifth paragraph. What is it? In the practical situation, practical people in the world, right? Practical people, practical world, right? Practical thing in the society. Whether there are such people in the society or not. Just think of it. In the clown's wife, there are people. Practically, there are people. Right? Their professional life and personal life different. Similarly, there are people who talk much without knowing. Right? Who talks much without knowing. If you know a little, you talk too much. If you know a little, now you see, if you go through the internet, right, you can see some people teach English, right? I don't want to criticize it anyway. I feel very sorry because they themselves not know English, right? They have to go attend to a class. So if you, but they believe, they say that within 24 hours I teach English. 24 hours, right? So within 24 hours I teach English, right? Listen to me and learn me, and listen to my lecture and you will learn English. I don't know how does it happen. So because their lack of knowledge, right? Lack of knowledge. So they believe what they have is the only thing in the world. If you know a little, knowing a little is danger. Remember, right? Learn a little is dangerous. Dangerous? Why? You think that you know. If you learn something deep, you will see the depth. Right? Then you will be quiet. You are not you're not going to boast yourself. Right? You know, beyond me, a lot of things are there. See what Isaac Newton says. Right? I am only a child. I am only a child who stands at the beach. Right? So that is Isaac Newton said. So if you talk, if you boast yourself, right, that's a weakness. That's a weakness of a human being. Now, you want to say, there are people, right, in our society, they not know the politics, but they talk politics, right? They have no knowledge of certain subjects, but they talk, right? Without having a knowledge, they talk about it, right? They want you to do in that. So you can get some examples. I've given you some examples. Don't write my examples. Just write. Think of yourself. Be creative and write. There's such people. Some children especially. They challenge their teacher. They laugh at the teacher, don't you? Have you done? I don't know whether you have done or not. Right? Probably you have not. Yet there are children, you know, they're laughing at the teacher, their teacher's knowledge, right? I don't know how it comes, right? Anyway, that means they have no proper knowledge of it, right? They believe that teacher also equal to them. Teacher is the one who has learnt a lot and came to the class, but the child believes teacher is equal in the same thing. Right? He knows only the this part of history. Some children are that. Therefore, they just laugh at the teacher and they just crack jokes, right? So such people are there in society. But at last, what happened? They'll be the losers. They'll be the losers. You can talk about the society. In society, such situations are there, right? It's in the practical, right? Now this man, this person who challenged the others that there isn't any ghost, right? And ghost in the particular house, right? Himself caught. Now this time, he himself got caught and he felt, my God, what had I done? Right? He got his sense, he understood his complications when he gets some situations. Right? People do not want to challenge that. Right. So the conclusion, the final part, number 6, write it down, conclusion. The surrender of the person who boasts, right? The poet satirically expresses its message not to overvalue ourselves. And you can include, you can see in addition that theme. I given you. You can include there. Page number 3. You have. You can write. The poet satirically satirize human weakness through humor, and he laughed at the quality of the boastfulness and the overestimation of us in the poem. That is how you want to plan. I gave you the plan, children. Maybe this is. Can you read? I don't know. Right. So you want to write this note, and then you have to start to write. Don't just procrastinate. Put off your things tomorrow. Do it today. Right. If you do it today, that will be very, very effective, because things are in the head. Right? Some children, they sent me a message today, right after 2 or 3 days over, 3 or 4 days over. So I watched your video. So I felt very sorry, right? Because they are so very late, they are so very busy and so very neglected, right? But if you do it at the time, right, in the proper time, and do work with me, that will be more effective, children. And some other children, some I can remember, I want to say Praveen is very good, and he worked in time. He got good marks in writing. And this is what you want to write in your answer. And the second question. Second question, you need write. Right? I said you that I'm setting you. I just make you ready. I ready you for the O-level question, O-level paper, right? So that I want to give you. Now, if I take a poem, I give you all the things that you have to do there, right? In this poem, you have to know the narration and structure and this answer. Then thereafter you need write a lot. This question, what is this question? The poem Two's Company satirize human weakness, discuss close reference to the poem. This you have to make a what do you call it? Your structure. Remember, I write here structure of your answer. Right? In other words, you are planning. You have to write the clear plan. Don't write a long one. Write one page. Write one page. You want to write section 1, what I am going to write. Section 2. Don't write what is it that you are writing. Write point and point. And number 2, what are you going to write? 3, what are you going to write? In there, A, B, C, D, and 4. Right? And 5. You want to bring me your plan. I want that. I want to see whether you have a plan. Now you have a plan to answer the question. Your plan you want to give me. One answer, one plan. Don't misunderstand this. Don't write 2 answers. One answer and one plan for your answer. So your plan I need for the second question. First question, you have to write the complete answer. Second question, you have to show me your plan. And you want to bring me the answer of this tute when you come to collect the next tute to the class next week, because I have to correct your answers, the 2 answers. This one, right question for page 5 and page 5 and 6. Right, I have to correct it. So that I think that's all, and we have finished the two's company. I feel that you got the idea and how to answer and about the question and learn the question by heart. Please, after studying, if you have an idea, any ideas, right, give me the feedback. Right, some children do it, some others not. Even if you're not clear, you can just tell me. So that is also important for to move on to be successful in the next lesson. So we'll meet on the next lesson next month. Till then, be safe, right? Stay safe, and goodbye, children, and have a nice day. Bye.